Alright, so we're gonna replace the spark plugs on my 2002 Chevy Cavalier. I'll make us the 2.2 Ecotec. So we're gonna replace the spark plugs in the race car, and yeah, so let's get after it. So you're gonna need a 10 millimeter to get off these. Okay, once you get that off, this ought to just pull right up. You can just give it a good tug. It'll come right up. And you just want to just slide that out of the way. Now you're going to need a 5/8 and an extension, and of course a ratchet to get down in here and pull out your spark plugs. They are going to be a little snug, as you can tell. These spark plugs had 7 races on them, so I decided I was going to change them out. And just now finally getting around to it. It is going to come handy if you guys got yourself a little magnet, an extension magnet, so that way you guys can reach down in the holes to grab the spark plugs once they're loose, and they'll just come out right just like that. So you can tell that one's a little burnt up pretty good. And you'll repeat that process for the other 3. Like I said, they are pretty snug, as they have, been in there a little while, so you're gonna have to put some warmth behind it. Like I said, once you get those free out of there, you can just lift them up with the magnet. But as you can see, that one's a little burnt up as well. I mean, they're not bad, but they definitely could use a change. So that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty simple process, just got to get all of them broke loose, and then once you get them broke loose, you can obviously put the new ones in. Like I said, these aren't bad. Like you could probably get away with using these for a little longer than I did, but I just want to replace them because I'm getting ready to start, getting ready to start the season. I mean, we already have 1 race in, so for the year, so I'm just gonna replace them to be safe. One thing I like to do often is replace the spark plugs. And I definitely like to, go and look at them and, every week just to kind of make sure that they're there's not any burnt up, or you know what I mean. All right, so now that we got those out, for the sake of this video, I already pre-gapped all the other spark plugs. The new ones, I already gapped them. And for anybody that's wondering what I run for spark plugs, I run these NGK Iridiums. The Iridiums, NGKs. That's all I run in my Cavalier. So I gapped these to 0.44, so 0.44. So that's pretty much stop gap. So it's pretty simple. You just get her put back in there. I like to put her in the socket, and then just set her down on in there, and just get her started. Pretty simple. Once you get that one started, it'll screw right in. I like to get all of them done in the row, and then I will go back and tighten everything up. Like I said, pretty simple process. Doesn't take long. Anybody can do this. Just figured I'd show you guys the process of doing it for those of you that like to watch me do things, or maybe you don't know how to do it. So this is how I do it. All right, getting the last one in here, and then I'll go through and tighten everything up. And when you're tightening everything up, you just want to kind of get it good and snug. Don't want to over tight. So yeah, now I'm going to go through and tighten everything up, and we'll go from there. All right, so now that we got all the spark plugs in, now we can go through and tighten everything up. Like I said, you want to get it nice and snug, so we'll do that now. Don't want to over tight, just get them nice and snug. Alright, got those all nice and snug. Now you repeat the process of how you take everything apart. You just take this with your boots, stick that back down in there, give it a press it on a little bit, and then what I do is I like to get one of the bolts started, and I don't tighten it down all the way until I get all of them in. But I like to get it at least started so that way they all kind of go in equally. And then now I'll go and just for good measure, I always go over it hand tightening as well, just to make sure that everything is tight as it should be. You know, sometimes the impact doesn't always get them as tight as they should be. So I always like to go over them and make sure that everything's snug. And just like that, you got your spark plugs replaced on your 2002 Chevy Cavalier. It's the Ecotec. So yep, pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to do. Like I said, my old spark plugs here, they had 7 races on them, and I just wanted to change them out. I try to do this pretty often, so like I said, these are still probably, you could probably still run on these for a little while, but so like I said, you know, you could probably run on these for a little while, but decided to change them out. So anyhow, that's how you guys do that. I appreciate you all watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let me know what else videos you guys want to see. Thank you all for watching.